Hello, and welcome back to the Busch Gardens Experience Part 15. Here we are once again within the plains of the Rhino Rally section of the park with the guinea fowls and the ducks and the birds and the Scimitar horned Oryx, who seem quite excited to get out and play in the habitat. As you can see, some decide to run out while some decide to mosey out, and others decide to be loners and just come out whenever they feel like it. And then here once again are Sonia, Daisy, and Loretta. Well, actually, it's now Loretta, Daisy, and Sonia, because it seems like Loretta is taking the lead today. Because last time she was actually in the back of the other two. I guess they all switch roles on who is the leader of the herd every other day. As Loretta leads Sonia and Daisy to their grazing quarters, the Scimitar horned Oryx then mosey on over, out of the way as respect to the Watusi cattles, and also because there's more places to graze in this area over here. Now remember when I told you about Lamb Chop, the Scimitar horned Oryx? Well, that's her to the far right over there with the longest horns. She is the hand-raised one, and so of course she will follow the zookeeper truck to see if they have anything to eat. But being that the keeper is just scouting the area for food scraps left over from yesterday, she's not going to get any food just yet, but she will eventually. Being that Lamb Chop is the only hand-raised Oryx here, she is not afraid to approach humans that are only a mere feet away from her. In fact, some of the keepers also just call her hand-raised the Oryx because, well, she was hand-raised. I know, that sounds kind of redundant, but anyway, as the keepers head back behind the scenes to do their daily work, like raking, hosing, and cleaning and stuff, Lamb Chop is now surprisingly closer to us than she has ever been before, and we really do need to be careful around those horns of hers. I mean, she has no intent on hurting us with them, it's just that they're so sharp and long that one shake of her head she could accidentally stab someone or knock someone out entirely. Well, we're not really in the same space with her anyway, so we should be safe. And now, as she plays with one of her enrichment items, the music will now bloom to a louder volume, and then now the whole picture will then fade into black and then extend. On the other side of the river, we see Duffy the impala. He may seem solitary and alone on this side of the habitat, but he actually does have some company with him. He indeed lives with 3 half-ton African bovines, who are actually now just in time for their morning showers. Because, you know, morning showers brings Cape Buffolos. And there's nothing like a good shower in the morning to refresh and rejuvenate yourself for the day ahead. Now, the few Cape Buffolos that you see here are Tina and Paco. Tina is the one that's closest to me, and Paco is just right next to her. He is just about a year old, still an adolescent. And the third one I have unfortunately forgotten the name of, but he is also an offspring of Tina, and is also a bit older than Paco. Now, the cool thing about Cape Buffolos is that they are Africa's only cow-like mammal. They are a very gregarious species that can live in herds of up to 2,000 or more when food is plentiful. In the dry season, they split into smaller groups of females and young, including males of up to 3 years, or bachelor bands of mature males. Herd members mutually groom and use mainly sound signals for coordinated actions such as moving on, fight, or warning. They may also cooperate to mob a predator such as a lion. The single calf, rarely twins, is born after 340 days of gestation and is fiercely protected by the mother and often by other members of the herd. In this case, other members of the herd including Duffy the impala, who has no problem living with what is considered to be one of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa. No problem at all. Did you know that Watusi cattle actually have honeycomb blood vessels within their horns? They basically work the exact same way as elephant ears do, by circulating warm blood into them, which then cools down over time, cooling the whole animal as it flows back into the body. This is one reason why the horns are that big. I mean, if you were wondering why they were that big, then that's your reason why they were that big. Unlike lamb chop's horns, which are very long and cylindrical, they are more meant for defense rather than body temperature conditioning. Huh. I wonder why she didn't want to hang out with Sonia and Daisy. Oh well. Well, anyways, why don't we enjoy a minute watching the animals enjoy their breakfast, shall we? Boy, I'm gonna be hungry after this. Why do they brush up against you like that?
You're trying to get me to move.
Oh.
I'm the boss.
Is that?
You're not.
That's like their defense system?
Yeah, a little bit. You're trying to push me over.
That's like the gentlest defense I've ever seen.
That one's trying to mount me.
Oh.
Is it 25? Yeah.
After we helped out with the Oryx and Watusi, we visit Jambo Junction once again to meet some old and new friends that we've made in the past. Friends meaning these animals that we have made good acquaintances with over time. Like this flock of goofy flamingos, who are, well, still as goofy as they've ever been. Except now they seem to have gotten along with the naturally occurring white ibises. Even though they still are considered as pests, they still tolerate them the same way they tolerate each other. As another fellow wading bird. And here's a new face that we haven't seen yet. It's Samantha, the Reeve's Muntjac, one of the smallest deer species in the world she is part of. She lives with Eli and Emma, the adolescent emus. We'll see her more often later on in the experience, but this is just the first time we actually have seen her so far. We'll interact more with her soon. And here is Jambo Junction's newest arrivals, some fuzzy baby flamingo chicks. Yes, they are adorable, aren't they? They are just like little fluff balls on stilts when they are first born. This shows that the flamingos here are excellent breeders. Wait, hold on a sec. Nene Goose, did you say that it was time for a jungle safari? Oh, well then let me get my hat. Trekking through the jungles of the Myombe Reserve never gets old, and the plants always seem to get bigger every time I visit. Actually, the general scenery around here is absolutely beautiful. Naturally growing plants with beautiful waterfalls and rock outcroppings. It's just like being in the Congo. Even more so with actual gorillas, like Pele and Belingo here. But I think I established this more back in part 3, when Pele and Belingo were more, active. Today is most definitely a chill-out day for the gorillas. A day to feast on the many plants of the jungle, and also a nice day to forage around the habitat and explore the jungles and undergrowth, because you never know if there might be a piece of fruit nearby. After we exited the jungle, we came across a pair of African clawless otters. They are known as clawless otters because their front paws literally have no claws whatsoever. They are more adapted for feeling and holding prey. I would talk about them more, but this was all I really filmed of them at this time. And also, it looks like something's happening at the elephant habitat. Oh, look at that, elephant enrichment. It looks like something big is about to happen here, and when I mean big, I mean 8,000 pound elephants are gonna come walking by. And instead of me this time, I'm gonna let the elephant keeper, Nancy, talk about them as they pass by. So take it away, Nancy.
So here she's making her way down here, and Simba definitely loves that game of knocking stuff down. So we'll see what she stops at first. She usually makes it to about halfway through the habitat before she finally settles in and finds a place. Her favorites are corn. She also loves romaine lettuce. And so we'll see what she gets first. Simba's not very delicate with those plastic items. And those plastic items are actually referred to as EEDs, Environmental Enrichment Devices. Basically, they're giant puzzle boxes, so there's food hidden in there that the elephants have to figure out how to get all that food out of the box. And the next two elephants to join us are the mother and daughter. Karina is in the front, she's the mom, she's 41 years old, followed by her daughter, Carnaldi, who's 22 years old. Karina looks like she's been playing in some water. You're gonna really see that area depigmentation on her face. So she's very, very clean right now. Usually you don't see elephants too clean. Even though their skin is very thick, it is very sensitive. So sunburn, insect bites, different things like that, they can get, and it's not very pleasant for them. So you're gonna usually see elephants that have dirt on them, mud on them, grass on them, or hay. And here comes Carnaldi. She's being a clumsy trunk today, but she's gonna make her way down all the way down the right-hand side, see what Simba has missed, and gets anything else before Simba can get to it. For Karina, again, she's a more submissive elephant. She's not really gonna fight for anything, but what she'll do is she'll kind of pick a spot and just kind of park it. So she's found all that romaine lettuce. It's kind of like a little jackpot right there. So she's gonna really enjoy that. Meanwhile, the next elephant that's joining us is Tina. Tina's 44 years old, and she is the matriarch of the herd. You're gonna notice that as she walks with a purpose, but there is no hurry to get down here when you're the matriarch, because whatever Tina wants, Tina's gonna get. That's her right as the matriarch. So as she walks down here, she's gonna walk with some confidence, and she's probably gonna stop at that queen palm. That's one of her favorites. She absolutely loves romaine lettuce. So all this romaine lettuce out here is heaven for Tina. She's probably gonna get some of those apples too, but she really loves the fresh foliage. Now the final elephant who's joining us us right now is Rosie. Rosie is a short, stocky elephant. She's 43 years old. And even though she's short and stocky, that doesn't mean that she's our heaviest elephant. Karina, the elephant who's playing with the box, is actually our heaviest elephant at 8,300 pounds. Rosie's around 8,000 pounds, so she definitely doesn't miss out on a meal. But she's just a short, stocky elephant. Okay. And she's probably just going to stop right there. She is, again, she's a more submissive elephant. She's not as submissive as Karina. But since Tina's right here, Rosie's just going to kind of park it on the outskirts and let the matriarch do her thing, while Rosie's going to enjoy some of this romaine lettuce. Again, on the very right-hand side, the elephant with the lettuce on her back, that's Carnality. She's 22 years old. The elephant with her best end facing towards you is Simba. She's playing in that tire. Karina is the elephant in the middle of the herd, playing with that green box. She's 41 years old. Tina has that queen palm in her trunk. She's 44 years old. And Rosie's on the very left-hand side. She's 43 years old. My name's Nancy. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit more about the herd, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at Busch Gardens.
Well, thank you, Nancy, for that very nice elephant talk. We now know a lot more about each individual elephant, how they all have different tastes in food, and they all seem to really like romaine lettuce a whole lot, especially Carnality, how she throws it on her back and then Karina likes to reach for it. We will now leave the herd to enjoy their food, for we got one more place to visit before the sun goes down. It's time once again to head to Jungala. So here we are once again at the tiger habitat, and I just want to correct one thing. Back in part 7 I said these were Bengal tigers, when in fact these are actually Malayan tigers. There are actually 6 different subspecies of tigers on Earth, all varying in color, size, and stripe patterns. Like for instance, the Sumatran tiger has the most stripes out of all the tiger species. And then the Malayan tigers here are clearly a lot lighter in color and a bit larger, but they have less stripes on them. Unfortunately, I can only remember the name of one tiger shown here, and it's that big white lazy tiger to the wall over there. His name is King, and well, he is also the largest individual tiger here at Busch Gardens. And he often gets head rubs from that other tiger, who most often is on the prowl around the habitat, exploring up on the mountain ranges and rivers and all the other interesting features that the habitat itself has. Although 6 subspecies of tigers have been recognized, they are all considered endangered. Poaching, loss of habitat, and lack of prey because of overhunting pose the biggest threats to the world's tigers, which survive only in scattered populations in eastern Russia, China, and Sumatra, and from Vietnam to India. Although protected in most areas, tigers are still killed illegally, mainly for their skins and for the use of traditional Chinese medicine. But luckily nowadays there are efforts to conserve this beautiful species from going extinct through conservation campaigns. So hopefully, within due time, we can take the tiger off of the endangered species list and have him live on generations into the future. Well, looks like it's getting late. Time to head back to the Mazinga Lodge because the day seems to be at a close. I hope you all had fun today, and this is Ian signing off. Catch you in the next part.